Hello everyone, Dr. Victoria Scarbo here in my dining room, speaking to you from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center in Wareham, Massachusetts. And I thought I'd do a quick read on William Barr. It seems like the report came out by the Inspector General to decide whether opening the case and investigating Trump and his associates was legal. Was it, was there any problems with it? And the answer to that question is no. And but Barr is saying the opposite, as it were. So I guess in Barr's mind, facts don't matter. So I'm going to just do a quick read on him and see what's up with him and what's in the future for this man. It is just beyond the pale, really, that this is happening. I mean, we'll see what the cards have to say. Okay. So this is William Barr, reading on William Barr. Today is the 10th of December. We have a full moon in Gemini, which is William Barr's sign, coming up, and Trump's sign, and Giuliani's sign, and Boris from England's sign, and a whole bunch of people. Pence. So it's like this is the Gemini can of worms. Let's see. Pull the wrong card up. Okay. So we have the Wheel of Fortune for William Barr. So we have a change of fortune for him. Crossed by the Son of Wands. This is the Knight of Wands in other decks. Let's see what's in at the bottom of the reading. The Five of Pentacles. In the past, the Eight of Swords. In the sky, the Five of Wands. Two of Wands in the immediate future. How it's seen from the outside, the Ace of Cups. Domestic situation, the Nine of Cups. The hopes and fears, the Hermit, and the outcome. The Two of Pentacles. And we're going to see if I can pull a major arcana. Seven of Wands. The Ten of Swords. Okay. Let's see what's under it all. The Devil. Okay. So, it seems to me that this is, in a way, the end of the line for Attorney General Barr. We have in his environment right now, we have the Wheel of Fortune, which is a change of fortune. Generally, the Wheel of Fortune, a lot of times it's considered a positive, unless things are really going well for you, and then the Wheel of Fortune can be a shift and a change in that. And it is crossed by the Son of Wands, and in this deck we have the We have the snake rising. We have this light sort of being cast. And I would say that this is the light of truth. Um, and so the light of truth is being cast. It is challenging him. And of course, it is also challenged by him. But at the root of this is the Five of Pentacles, which is really about disaster. It's about being at the lowest point, destitution and loss, and just not one of the least fun cards. It is a 5 card, and 5 is about change. And so this is a change of status, a change of money situations. This could also be he's sick. This could be that he's physically not well. In the past, we have the Eight of Swords. This is having to be very careful about what is said. It's as if he's in a position where he doesn't get a lot of opportunity to spread his wings, perhaps. In the sky, we have the Five of Wands, another 5. And of course, the 5 is about change. This is also about arguments and the fur is flying, as it were. And so what's in the sky is a lot of fighting and disruption and chaos and that energy. I think that the chaos and the fur and the feathers that are flying, what comes to me is the last sort of the dying throes of the Republican Party, quite frankly. In the immediate future, we have the Two of Wands. Now, this is actually quite a positive card, I think, to have in the future, considering everything else that is showing in this reading. And so, I think that there's an agreement that will be brokered somehow. This is often a card associated with commerce, although in this deck, I don't always see it as commerce. I see it more as heads coming together. In this deck, I see this as the two sides working together. Now, I say that, and I can't even imagine that the Republicans would do that, but who's to say? I think what I'll do is I'll do another reading right after this on the Republicans and see where they're at. How it's seen from the outside. This is the Ace of Cups. Perhaps it's seen as a victory for Trump. What him saying what he said. Although somebody had an issue with the phrase "drinking the Kool-Aid," it's not meant as a affront to the people who died in Guyana. It has to do with the fact that people agree to be self-destructive for a person who is, a Jim Jones-like character. And while Barr hasn't died, a lot of people have died because of Trump stuff all over the world. But the problem is we don't really get to see that because they don't talk about the real damage that he's causing. They talk about all the superficial stuff on the news for the most part. You have to really look for. I would suggest if you want to know what's going on to watch a new show like Democracy Now. I think you'll get information that you'll see what's going on in the world. The domestic situation is the Nine of Cups. This is often the Trump card, the smug merchant, or the self-satisfied. Um, so the White House is happy for what he said. They're thrilled. His hopes and fears, he wants to just sort of go off into the. He wants to retire, I think, quite frankly. The outcome. So the outcome is interesting because we get the Two of Pentacles here in this deck. We have a butterfly, and it's interesting because in the past we had this butterfly, and so this is a culmination of actions or inactions taken in the past, and we have the Seven of Wands here, which is shedding the light and sort of fighting off all comers. And so there's this sense of, even though I feel like it's unbelievable that he would say that, it's sort of in alignment with everything that he said up to now. So why would it be different? And then then there's this like sort of light that comes out, and it's like, well, this is like a righteous light. And then of course the next card is the Ten of Swords. It's the end. He's done for. He is done for. And what's under it all? He made a pact with the devil. That's what's under it all. This is Trump. He is the devil. He has become the devil. He went from the fool to the devil. So, all right. So it looks like Barr is done for. All right. I want to see what's going on with the Republicans. Yeah, I have a little time. There's only 12 minutes. The issue, the hardest thing with tarot is timing. Like, this definitely looks like it's done for Barr, and yet when does that happen? A lot of damage can happen between now and then. Continued damage. Boo, you okay? My dog has to go out. It's like the middle of the night. What's the matter, Boo? Gotta go out? Yeah? I'll be right back with the Republicans. I'm back. Yeah, do peeps. 5 o'clock in the morning. Well, at least it's not cold out tonight. It was freezing a couple of days ago. We got some snow, and now it feels balmy. The change. It's crazy. It's so stressful on the body and on the nature around us. I can't imagine how difficult it is to be an animal living outside. All right. So let's look at the Republicans. See where they're at. Oops. A whole bunch of cards. Just, yikes, flipped over. Sorry. They're like jumping out of the deck. I want to give it a good shuffle. I have a card that has righted itself. It's right in the middle of the deck. It's the Sun. It was like the only one, that was not. So illumination, things will be illuminated. The sun pops out. Illumination is happening. Things are definitely going to shift and change come 2020, and we're already feeling that. It's just been such a process of watching things and not getting any real satisfaction. That is so, I think, trying on people. So, and a lot of us are exhausted from the whole experience. Although 2019 was all about surrender, so perhaps, and we're still in 2019, although it's only a couple more weeks, we have to continue to surrender to what is before anything can actually change. Okay, let's say Republicans. Yeah, it's hot. Yikes. It's December and I'm sweating. Okay. We have the Son of Pentacles. This is the Knight of Pentacles. Okay. Let's see what it's crossed by. The Two of Cups. At the root is the Ace of Swords. The past. Oops. The Mother of Swords. That's probably Nancy Pelosi. In the sky, the Mother of Wands. That can also be Nancy Pelosi. She's all over their cards. Yikes. In the future, the Four of Swords. How it's seen from the outside, the Son of Cups. Domestic situation, the Four of Cups. Hopes and fears, the Daughter of Swords, that's the Page of Swords. And the outcome, the Eight of Wands, Seven of Swords, the Wheel of Fortune. Oh, thank you. Okay. So, it seems to me like they are doing all they can do for their donors at this point. That's what the Son of Pentacles says to me. And they're challenged by the Two of Cups, which is about communication, relationship. And I feel like there are certain people within the party that would like to perhaps see this era of Trump end. But of course, they're not going to say anything because they will get their heads chopped off, right? We have the Ace of Swords at the bottom. We have the Mother of Swords in the past. This is all the legal stuff that's been endeavored upon, most of which has come out against certainly against the president and all his minions, and yet they continue to say, "Oh, there's nothing to see here, folks," and they continue to sort of keep the party line. And I think that's how it's seen. I think people see it as they're just hunkering down and circling the wagons. This card here has that vibration, like the idea of circling the wagons, protecting the eggs, protecting what is precious to them. And I think what's mainly precious to them is this, right? The money. In the immediate future, we have the Four of Wands. Swords, excuse me. This can be, well, when I see it in this deck, I see it like lambs to the slaughter, actually. The lambs being, the truth. Actually, this to me says the truth is there, but it's being held down by these swords. That's what this card says to me. And so in the next 6 weeks, it looks like I would say that they're going to continue to follow their leader, so to speak. I don't think that anything's going to change for them. in that respect. And then how it's seen from the outside. They're just going to continue to be unified in their support, I would say. And then yet we look at the domestic situation, this Four of Cups. They're not happy, and we have a rat sitting on top of the cups, probably pooping in the cups. So, you know, as difficult as it is to watch this all happen, and I imagine how difficult it is to be on the other side of the aisle to these people, fighting the good fight, no matter how frustrating it is a whole lot different than having to swallow stuff that you don't want to swallow and witness stuff that you don't want to witness, and just have to sort of go along. I think it's a lot harder to do that. But that could just be me. Hopes and fears, the Daughter of Swords. I think this is a fear of speaking up against. This is this fear of seeming like a traitor. And then the outcome, we have the information coming out of all the dirty tricks, and then the Wheel of Fortune, the change of fortune. So it doesn't look like anything is changing for them. They're going to stick by what they're sticking by, but ultimately they just move out of power. So what I would say about this is that I don't think that on a certain level we can get caught up in who's going to be held responsible and all this stuff. Will Trump go to jail? Will this one go to jail? Will that one go to jail? Sometimes man's laws don't catch up to people, but cosmic law does. And it may seem a little there might be a little dissatisfaction with that, but ultimately they lose. And we are at a different age. We are at a point where things are changing and shifting with the Pluto-Saturn conjunction in January. A whole shift in the power dynamic. But all over the world, not just in America, but that's what we're looking at here. If you can find a news outlet that's not talking about Trump, you can see that there's all kinds of revolts going on. Some of it caused by Trump, actually, like the stuff in not completely by Trump, but by his actions in Iran. But there are things happening in, is it Chile and Brazil, Colombia, everywhere, everywhere. Iraq, the people are rising up. And it's a lot more sanitized in America, but the people are rising up. And that's what Bernie Sanders is doing. Bernie Sanders is getting a coalition of people, of grassroots change, and that is really what's going to change America. Even if he came down, if we don't have the grassroots working, we'll just get another, probably maybe even a crazier dictator who's got a brain in his head and can actually do a lot more damage. Is not as much of a fool. So it's important that there's a groundswell of change as well as a change at the top. But it really feels to me like the Republicans are, this is their death throw. These are the death throes of the Republicans. And as a party, they just had a couple of years ago their Neptune return in their chart. And of course, Neptune takes 165 years to go around the zodiac, so people don't have Neptune returns. Countries do, organizations do, things that sort of live longer than an average or even above average human life. And Neptune really is the energy of spirit. And if you are not fulfilling your spiritual destiny, then Neptune dissolves things away. That's how the transpersonal planets work. If you're not opening, or you're not up to, or you're not doing the work, then the transpersonals will destroy the form, and the form of the Republican Party is being destroyed from the inside out, and so we'll see what happens with that. But they are on the decline. Actually, when is that going to happen? Let me ask. When do the Republicans lose? When does this all crack open? When does that, and I remember I said when is the most difficult. So I'm going to try. No guarantees here. But when is the information coming out? When is everything sort of coming out sort of in the laundry, and then the change of fortune? When? As the Emperor. The Moon was reversed. What's the Moon? The Moon is a Pisces card. So perhaps we're looking at February or March. Oh, this is an Aries. So this is Aries Pisces. So this is February, March, or March, February. 3, March. March. That's what I would say. And there's things going on in March. The full moon, I think it's the full moon in Pisces. No, the full moon in Virgo, or the new moon in Pisces. Very powerful. And I believe Mars will be in Capricorn at that time. By then. So we'll see. March. That's my prediction. All right, guys. Have a great day. Like and subscribe. Thank you for your donations. Thank you for the new clients I'm getting. I love getting to know you and doing your charts. Have a great day. Bye.